to be like significantly more casual because it's just so big. Like just looking at the loadout of what these, it's like super big. You have all these things that you can go. You even have like the dance club where other like you can dance literally with other players and they can like. That's in the books, man.
Of course, it's in the books.
Where you have this kind of a mini game where you need to like time press buttons and you then have like so.
This is no bullshit gaming podcast, 2.5 Gamers. Sharing actionable insights, dropping knowledge from our day-to-day user acquisition, game design, and ad monetization jobs. We are definitely not discussing the latest industry news, but having so much fun. Let's not forget this is a 4 a.m. conference discussion vibe, so let's not take it too seriously.
Okay, so hello everybody, welcome. This is session number 73. I'm Matej.
I'm Felix Braberg.
And I'm Dr. Remia.
There we go.
Now, of course, I'm Matej Lancaric, but I was just trying to make a little bit of fun. So today we are actually talking about Felix running tests. I'm going to talk about Facebook Aggregated Event Measurement. Jakub is going to talk about Harry Potter, a huge flop. But before we do that, it's been a while. So a lot of things happened. So we went to Korea with Felix. We actually got into the newspaper. And we attended amazing uploving event. Anything you want to add up to this, Felix?
Yeah, we also had our own seminar, which was organized by Yoon and Inho from Action Fit and Sensor Tower. We had over 200 signups for only like 100 seats. So it was quite a cool, surreal experience. We're very much looking forward coming back to Korea. And next time we're actually going to bring Dr. Remia as well. Don't worry, he's not a real doctor. He's only got a PhD in philosophy, but psychology. Oh, all right. Sorry.
Almost like a dentist.
And almost like being doctor in dentistry. But also, I just want to do a quick apology for our dear listeners because our dear co-host Maven Matej got kicked by a horse, so he's super slow to reply during the podcast today. But he's joining us live from Tarnava.
Oh, you almost got it right. So yeah, I'm in my hometown. I'm spending the whole week here with my daughter, and the fucking internet is terrible. I don't know like how I could play Counter-Strike when I was actually young, because this is actually my room when I was a little boy. Never mind.
Maybe you played it through LAN.
Maybe you no, I don't know. Most probably no. Anyway, so a few things. Thank you for sharing all the comments and feedback because it's just amazing. The lightest, really funny comment was I got it through LinkedIn, and this guy said that Maven Matej is the people's favorite, and Felix is not, because I feed his users and Felix rapes them. Like, first of all, what the fuck, and then second of all, like. This was super funny.
It's very funny, but let me put the record straight here. Ad monetization does not rape users. What we simply do is provide a mechanism for publishers to monetize non-converting users on IP, while also providing an avenue to show ads so our ecosystem works. So not raping.
Tell that to all the Supercell games that died because of those sentences.
Why do you bring up all the time the Supercell games when we talk about ads?
Because they don't have ads in them?
Why don't you bring up any of your Korean games?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, of course they don't have that. Yeah. I will bring a Chinese game today. No ads there also. Don't worry.
Yeah. It doesn't work. Anyway, so... we have actually major milestone. We just hit 3,000 subscribers. Hey, thank you very much for the support. You are fucking amazing. We love you. Please share the podcast with your friends, industry colleagues, everybody, good dogs and cats, obviously, because they love it. But really, thank you for the support. We could see it in South Korea. We'll most probably see you in other cities as well. Please keep sharing the feedback. The last feedback we got was for the South Korean episode. And obviously it was live episode, so the sound quality wasn't that great. And immediately the first comment in our Spotify was, the sound is ridiculously bad. I was like, yes, I know. So thank you for saying that. We'll try to make it happen or make it better at Gamescom, which is the next news. We are actually hosting a fucking party on Tuesday night at Gamescom. And we're doing that with Singular and our very, very big friends at Mobile Action. So we are going to have a magician, a DJ, and these two guys, a live podcast. And I was thinking about one extreme thing, which might be that if you send me a message or Jakub or Felix, there will be like a competition, and we will kind of pick one of you, and you will be on stage with us. Okay. So send us a message if you want to be on stage, and we will pick one of you. See you fucking there. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait. And also, if you want to register, it's going to be the link is going to be in the show notes. And then, Felix, I think...
we'll start with Admon because it's the most important thing out of any episode.
No. It's not.
Okay, so I have been in my little Admon dungeon running my little Admon tests this week. I have, as you both know, for a while been standing on my little soapbox shouting about a lot of things. But mostly I've been shouting about how the Admon world is heading for a great big turd sandwich after October 31st this year, when Google removes placements, moves to bidding, and shuts off AdX demand for Google Ad Manager resellers. Big caveat here is that the turd sandwich has to be consumed by publishers and not by UA managers. Looking at you, Matej. So one of my clients this week was like, hey, Felix, you know this big, great turd sandwich that we're going to have to eat in October? It would be great for planning purposes to know how big it will be. So, okay, fine. That's not maybe an exact quote, but I'm paraphrasing. But either way, they wanted to test switching off Google Ad Manager and AdMob placements on one of their titles to measure what the exact impact will be in October. So they wanted to dive on this metaphorical sword and sacrifice their revenue right now in the name of Admon science. So I started doing this, exactly what we did on Monday. That's 5 days ago now when we're recording this. So I can share some early results here. And just like expected, it's pretty not great. On an eCPM basis, banners take the brunt and are down 25% on eCPM on iOS and Android. On Android, eCPMs on interstitials and rewarded videos, they're down by 5 to 8%. On iOS, eCPMs for interstitials and rewarded ads are down 2 to 6%. So pretty not great. But if you have been an avid listener to the Admon section of this podcast episode, you know that eCPM as a metric gets way too much attention in ad monetization. And I'm going to ask my dear podcast co-host why that is.
Because it reflects how much money you make instantly.
So it's not the best metric to use because we care about ad revenue. And ad revenue is just eCPM plus fill, right? So eCPM is a mere component of what we care about, so not the end goal. So I'd gladly take lower eCPM if it means fill goes up. So you should only care about ad ARPDAU. So that's what you should be looking at. So what are the ad ARPDAU numbers saying? So these are the real numbers that you should care about. So Android banners are down by 11%. Interstitials down by 7%. Rewarded videos are down by 15%. On iOS, down by 10.5% on banners. interstitials are down by 3.5%, and rewarded ads on iOS is about even. So somewhere between, if you're looking for one figure, if someone asks you what the turd sandwich will look like, it will be 5 to 12% on an ad ARPDAU basis. That's how much off we are right now. So for pubs running aggressive UA and that are reliant on in-app revenue with small profit margin, this hurts quite a lot. And if you're one of these clever ad monetization naughty Nellies who's taking part in ad mob refreshes, the drop is going to be considerably worse. So that's what you should count on. We're going to be running this test for another 10 days. So I'll just report back also in like 2 episodes time what the actual drop will be. But this should be kind of a little, canary in the coal mine for anyone who's wondering what to expect with your ad revenue in October.
What should we do?
Yeah, that's the question.
Tell me.
There's a couple of things you can do. Yeah, I mean, you can't kill everyone, but the first thing I would like to say that you can do is hope to God that Google figures out how to make their bidder a lot better, because right now, it's not looking very good if you remove it. They still have 5 months to make it better. If you're hopeful, like I think, they will divert a lot of that AdX demand from Google Ad Manager into the bidder. So you could say that it will get better, but right now it does not look like it's very good. And there's a bunch of things you can do. I'm testing a bunch of stuff with a bunch of clients. I think I'll have a solution and how to make even more money at the end of this. It's just simply one of these hacks. There's our closing with a GAM, so you just need to find new ones. I'll know maybe
Felix,
by September.
Just from the business perspective. So Google closing this means they will make more money, right?
Yeah,
or less.
100%. You can't fault them for it, right? It's just them optimizing for their own balance sheet.
Yeah, well, that's the answer. Then, why would the other options then work? If Google makes more money, then they don't give a fuck.
No, not at all. I mean, they'll probably make more money now anyway, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it from the perspective of, let's say, fingerprinting. So everybody's saying, oh, well, fingerprinting, it's going away. SDK networks are going to die. It's like, well, no. Of course, no. They make a lot of money. They're in their business kind of view. They need to make this work. So I think, but that's SDK networks, not Google and GAM. If GAM was, trying to make more money, then they would be trying to make this work. But I guess
I think you're misunderstanding. GAM is like a tool, right? So Google Ad Manager is another Google tool. What's actually going to be taken off is the AdX demand, which is a component of Google Ad Manager demand. And that's the one that's being taken out for resellers, right? So resellers can still push in other direct demand into kind of their networks. But yeah, the AdX demand, which is taking up the brunt of Google Ad Manager resellers' demand, that's what's being cut off.
Okay.
Cool.
Right.
So stuff's just getting worse and you can do shit about it.
It's worse for publishers.
Easy.
Yeah. I mean, it's great for Google.
Easy.
Worse for publishers. Yeah.
Google say, well, you're going to make more money. Yeah, fine. Let's just cut this off.
Short to medium term, we are going to make less money. And now we know roughly by how much.
Okay.
What's the kind of a long-term prediction here? It's just going to be worse and worse? Or, I mean, on the, not Google people side?
The publisher side, you mean? Yeah. I expect publishers to make, like I said now, anywhere between 5 to 12% less money after October 31st.
But there has to be a solution.
And afterwards?
I mean,
there has to be a solution. The solution, I'm testing a bunch of hypotheses now with a bunch of clients on what to do to fix it, but it's just a bit too soon to say.
It's always oh, well, this is dead. This is, this is ending. They're closing this and that.
Everything will be fine. The companies will still live. It's just it's going to suck for a while.
Yeah.
Company will just still live, but not all of them.
Exactly.
Not all of them. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, well, whatever.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah,
on to you, Maven.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So there's this thing which was kind of appearing in my discussions for a while, which is called Aggregated Event Measurement. So first, I didn't know like what the fuck is happening, but then I was trying to learn a little bit more and trying to read more of the Facebook guidelines. It's still very unclear how you can make this work, but okay, this is a new thing from Google, from Facebook, and they say you don't need to use Apple Scan ad network and the conversion schema. You can use this solution to actually get almost real-time data. Get this. Apple privacy, almost real-time data. It's fucking nonsense. Okay, whatever. Let's talk about like what exactly is this. So it's whatever protocol that allows measurement on the app events using iOS 14 and later devices. So they're actually introducing these updates to the app campaigns. It was live back in like a 2 or 3 weeks, months ago on web. Now it's actually rolling out on app campaigns, which is good for us. And these are the changes that actually you can see. So the aggregated measurement expanded to the app campaigns. And now you can, instead of, as I said, instead of App Scan Network, you can use this and configure the app event campaigns, which are going to be available for you. But I've tried, I looked 10 different accounts, only one is available. So, but I will get to that. So iOS 14 campaigns that use these aggregated event measurement campaigns for attribution will have this almost real-time reporting. This can help you, and this is I'm quoting this from the guidelines from Facebook, which obviously is kind of far-fetched, but anyway, it can help you adjust the ad strategy more quickly. I don't know. I don't know about that.
What is this? I still don't understand what this is.
It's the attribution methodology from Facebook. So they are using their own Facebook SDK, which I want to talk about later, to actually measure the iOS 14 campaigns. So if you don't have the SDK, you're basically fucked. So it's almost the same as Firebase and Google. So if you have Firebase and you use Google, everything is amazing. You can use Firebase for event tracking, and it can help you improve the performance and everything else. Here, the same is happening on Facebook. So this like aggregated event measurement for campaign attribution, they have different attribution windows. So on Scan, you see only first 24 hours. This says, oh, well, you can use day 1 or day 7. And you can even now, well, they bring this back, like you can actually compare the attribution windows between day 1, day 7, and day 28. I mean, nobody knows how it works yet, but like it's
super big. Is it
super
okay to be confused? Because I have no idea what's going on.
Man, I'm super confused.
Isn't this like we're gonna break all the shit that Apple did last year, and we just have this amazing thing that solves it? Like sounds that to me.
Yeah, exactly. Like we are solving the privacy issues. Everything is fine. You just need to implement Facebook SDK. Everything else is fine.
Okay.
Back to Kumbaya Matej.
Kumbaya Matej. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah, Kumbaya, of course. Everything is okay. If you remember when the iOS changes happened, Facebook said you can't run audience network on iOS 14 campaigns.
Yeah.
Now with this, you can run audience network as well.
Nice.
Well, hello. So they're doing this like very interesting and sneaky thing. Nobody knows how it works. I literally looked at 10 different accounts. They have this like thing when you can check if you're eligible. 9 out of 10, nothing. Because they didn't have the Facebook SDK. But Facebook claims, I will get to it. Where is it? I have it here. So
is the fan SDK enough? The Facebook Audience Network or Meta Audience Network SDK enough?
No.
Or do you need another one on top
you need
of that?
to have the Facebook SDK that supports iOS 14 campaigns.
Well, that's retarded. Why didn't have that one SDK instead?
Of course it's retarded. And hear this. So you can use Facebook SDK. You have to verify the deep link, which is like super easy. You can verify because you just click on your push notification and then just go to your game, verified immediately. But you can't use older version of the Facebook SDK than 16.00. And if you're using MMP, which almost everybody is using, they say, look, if your MMP hasn't adopted the aggregated event measurement, just contact your MMP and request that they adopt event measurement. If they don't plan to adopt it, you can always use the Facebook SDK instead. It's like, what?
So it's pretty much them saying, abandon your MMP and trust our numbers instead?
Exactly. And the thing is, like, they're using modeled conversions, which is fucking bullshit. And the thing is here, what they say, if your MMP has adopted the aggregated measurement, you are good, but the MMP needs to be the latest SDK, blah, 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 blah. It's crazy. So
Which MSPs have adopted that one?
That's what I wanted to say. AppsFlyer is saying you don't need to do anything. It's already live. I have 5 accounts. Man, I have 5 accounts with AppsFlyer. 0 eligible. 0. Like,
because of the SDK?
Okay. Then I think I still don't know like what you need to actually change, because it's super confusing. Then I was like, okay, well, then I logged in Adjust. I was like, there's this toggle which you can do, and there is just aggregated event measurement. You can toggle it on. Great. So Adjust is good. Then Singular saying, well, generally it's not recommended to have Facebook SDK live in your game and Singular SDK at the same time. I was like, okay, great. Because it can cause conflicts between aggregated event measurement and scan measurement unless it's properly done. It's like, what? Jesus fucking Christ, this is so hard to implement. Honestly, I spent 2 weeks trying to actually implement it into like few campaigns. I was successful in one account out of, let's say, like,
was that because of operator error, or was it because of the tools? Just asking.
It was because of the Facebook fucking SDK. So honestly, this is just like a lot of bullshit. But okay, what can you do? You can either actually implement the Facebook SDK alongside the MMP you have and just only send. Well, that's the thing. You can only send one event either from Facebook SDK or MMP, because if you send from both, you're going to see double counting of the purchases and revenues, because you're sending it from MMP and Facebook SDK. So you can only choose one. And then, like, how can you actually know like what to choose? Facebook says this is going to improve your numbers by 20%. I was like,
because they're making the numbers.
Exactly. It's the same thing that I mentioned in the newsletter. I said, oh well, I improved the numbers by 36%, and then at the end of the newsletter, I said I totally made it up, because yes, this totally made up number. Like, they have nothing to base this on. But okay, whatever. So they have like different.
The moral of the story is, if your performance on your campaign starts dropping, just start measuring the campaigns yourself, and then say like, trust me, bro, 20% better.
Yeah, trust me, bro. Exactly. Yeah, trust me, bro. It's better. But the thing is, so how can you see if you are actually eligible for this type of campaigns? You need to just go to the events manager data sources, and then to the settings tab, which there's like a huge button which says check eligibility, and you just check if you are eligible for events, mobile app installs, or value. So like out of all the accounts, I was only eligible for mobile app installs, and they say maybe you're not eligible because the last 30 days of data is not enough. So you don't have enough data. it's new thing. Maybe it's gonna change, but I don't buy that. I don't buy that. So you can actually check that. It's super easy. And then what I wanted to say is you have this scan versus this aggregated event measurement. You can't have both of these measurements live at like in one campaign. So let's say you're running US scan campaign, you can't run up event measurement campaign in the US because you already have one campaign. So if your campaigns are actually performing well, don't even bother. If your campaigns are not performing well, start talking to your MMP first, and then obviously Facebook rep as well. Because I think still this can be really interesting, because I started doing these mobile app install campaigns where I was eligible. Immediately I could see installs. If you use scan conversion schema, you need 72 hours to actually see the first data coming in, which sucks, obviously. So I guess like there is something that can help UA managers in this aggregated event measurement, but it's still very, very confusing. Very confusing. And also, I see you unmuted yourself, Felix. I think you have a question. I hope so.
No questions.
No, you don't. Okay.
I have a question. So
perfect.
let me sum this up. So Facebook is trying to get in your bed and saying that your MMP is shit. Use mine, on the premise that you can use this new shit that I invented based on nothing or statistical modeling out of thin air, which says I'm going to solve all your problems. So let me kick out the MMP that you have and trust me, bro.
Yeah, trust me, bro.
Really eloquent.
Basically, yeah, that's
hilarious.
Yeah, very, very good.
And like Meta has this reputation to be a really trustworthy company. So yeah, why don't you just remove that impartial MMP? Yeah, and then trust the Zuck.
Oh. Exactly. I was like, oh, thank you, Mark. Like this makes my life so much easier. Thank you very much.
So
on the other hand, like after the summary, after this summary, there is also like because it really ties into the like how trustworthy Facebook can be. They started rolling out Facebook Scan 4.0 for like all of the developers. Man, it just fucked up the whole reporting to almost like everybody. So I was looking in the different accounts, 5 accounts, bananas numbers. So you have all like impressions the same, CTR the same, conversion the same, installs the same, CPI 10x instead of 5, 50. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And then I asked around, like, yeah, this is just because of the Scan 4.0 is being rolled out. They said the reporting is going to be bad, but I was like, this bad? Oh my god, so good. So yeah, trust Facebook. That's the summary, guys. Thank you. If you have any questions regarding the aggregated event measurement, let me know. And if you have any solutions as well, please let me know, because this is just like a new thing.
Ridiculous.
Everybody's oh man, it's ridiculous.
So from one wizard with glasses to another wizard with glasses.
Yeah, Mr. Doctor.
Yeah, let's go. I guess time for some PhD shit stuff.
PhD shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, honestly, we're gonna talk about the Harry Potter that's been released.
That is the way I shall put a magic spell on you.
I
have blocked your spell, wizard.
Yeah,
hey, what are you guys doing?
We're
playing Harry Potter.
Here we go.
He.
There we go. Yeah, let me in the meantime talk a little bit about the market first, then the game. So this is let's say this year this has been a little bit more successful regarding Harry Potter because of
what are you talking about? You're going to talk about Harry Potter's new release, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about a lot of Harry Potter things.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
So Harry Potter as an IP had a better year this year because there was the PC game release, which sold like bananas, because there's no other Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy, that's on PC, but just saying. What I'm going to talk in detail now is the Harry Potter Magic Awakened from NetEase, which released in China before and now has finally come to West. And we are going to talk in hard detail why it's not really working, I guess, as they expected. But to get some real comparison, like what do you mean it's not going pretty well? So let's talk like how the other games regarding mobile Harry Potter games are faring in the Western market. So the oldest one to compare through is the Hogwarts Mystery one, which is actually pretty close to it regarding the core gameplay, because Hogwarts Mystery also has this, it's mainly that kind of exploration element, and you're going through the story, and there's like energy mechanic where you just like complete stuff and everything. So it's a little bit more similar to this one, but yeah, it's like, let's say, not really that usual kind of a, I wouldn't know if there's like a similar genre here. It's pretty much this kind of a like story exploration narrative game. It's from Gem City, that's owned by Netmarble, and altogether it was released 2018 January, and altogether it made already 340 million. So that's there. Then we have the Harry Potter Puzzles and Spells from Zynga, which was released in March 2020. And for a match 3 game, this is going pretty well. It already went through 200 million plus lifetime revenue, and it's still going pretty strong. It's going something like 4 million a month still. The Hogwarts Mystery one is going around 3 million a month. So currently the Zynga match 3 Harry Potter team game is like the biggest one by revenue, at least, if our favorite data tools are correct,
Which
as they like
they're
to be.
not.
Yeah, so take it with a giant grain of salt. I would say maybe a salty iceberg. Anyway, so that brings us to this amazing game, as you can see here, which you can actually fly in the game on a broomstick, which I haven't seen before.
Is this a mobile game that you're porting again and cheating?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course, I'm cheating on my emulator as always.
Right.
But to be honest, the scale of this game is pretty much like AAA scale. Like you have so much stuff that you can do in this. Like it's the usual kind of Asian mobile game, which is like super kind of overstuffed with features. So yeah, let's say. Yeah, so this brings us to numbers of this bad boy, which everybody had like giant expectations, because when it launched in September 2021, it actually went super big and grossed in first month something around 70 million in first month. Then it of course dwindled as the usual kind of a revenue going down, but it's currently stabilized at something like 1.5 million a month in Asian countries. So I don't know if we see all the revenue from China, like all these kind of alternative app stores, but like it's doing that pretty, I would say, yeah, big decline. But before, it already grows all together something like, if we count all the like different stores and everything, just the main one in China is 200 million plus already. So if I count all the like, what is this? Taiwanese version or like these other versions or whatever versions, we're like 220 or something like that. So that's there. So pretty much on the same scale as the Harry Potter Match 3 game. So everybody was expecting this to kind of blow up in the West, especially in this year, because the Harry Potter IP was pretty big. And it didn't actually happen. So compared to that 70 million a month launch in Asian countries, the Western version of this game, which exactly looks the same, to be honest, I don't think so there has been any kind of a westernization or like any kind of big modification to it. It looks exactly the same as I saw it on before, like, gameplay videos in 2021. So the game grossed 4 million
a day
per first month. Per first month. So 70 to 4.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's not really doing that well. So the original one, let's say the Chinese version, is still doing something like, I don't know, 50k, 60k a day or something, and the Western version is doing something like up to like 100k or 80k,
133k a day, right?
Yeah, something like that. You need to down subtract some of those, but yeah, pretty much is in heavy decline. And seems like a flop if you compare it to 70 to 4 million. And we all know it's just downhill from there. So the Chinese, or let's say the Asian downhill, is much higher than this one. So why did it not really work? Because we don't really want to bring here the successor bias, where every game that we bring on the podcast makes shitloads of money, then everybody thinks it's like so easy. Let's talk about why this game did not really.
It's not easy.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's talk why this game really didn't fare that well. Let's start with the main core gameplay. So you have this exploration part, as I'm like browsing here with the broomstick around Hogwarts, but actually let's go into the main core gameplay, which this whole thing is based about, which is, to be honest, a more hardcore version of Clash Royale. And this is, I would say, the biggest kind of off-putting factor regarding the Western audience, I would guess, because the game is very, very core-ish, I would say. It's even more core than Clash Royale, and I'll show you why. Because they're just like, imagine Clash Royale, and you just add more options and more strategy and more tactics into it.
But
so
you
how
also
this
add
works,
the Harry Potter IP.
Yeah, of course you had the Harry Potter IP.
Yeah.
So how this works, that you have the arena and you are actually present in the arena. You can even move in the arena because you have the steps cards, which means you have a limited number of kind of a changing of the movements. I can walk to the half of the arena and cannot walk to her arena, but I can still move. Because I'm in the beginner leagues, it's like still kind of a very easy now. See, already use some ability and I can get out of it. So this is like one level of the strategy. The other one is the usual Clash Royale one, where I summon stuff like summons whatever we have the Hogwarts statues, or we can do a dragon or whatever. I have some legendary cards, which then automatically attacks the opponent, and he pretty much again can move and position himself and do stuff in the meantime, cast spells like let's throw poison at her, or let's summon a healer of ourselves, or so on and so forth. So you can see that this can get pretty messy, and there's a lot of things that you need to cover. So this is pretty much their core gameplay, because every kind of even during the exploration, you are able to play some of those kind of famous scenes. Like for instance, before I got here, I was playing Dumbledore when he defeated Voldemort in Ministry of Magic, or I was playing Ron Weasley when he defeated the troll in the toilets.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
There's no spoiler.
Nobody cares.
Yes. So what do you get out of these? Guess what you get out of these keys, and what do these do?
Wait. There's no doubling of keys because of rewarded ads.
There's no rewarded ads.
That's why the game is not doing well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
open chests.
Of course, what they do, they have gacha. Yes. Of course.
So
gacha
pools.
Yeah, let me
gacha pool.
Yeah, gacha, a very big gacha, the Asian gacha pools, and it's kind of mixed. So if we go into my deck, it's actually bigger than the Clash Royale one, because Clash Royale deck has 8 cards, which is enough already to kind of create some deep strategy. Here you have actually 3 more cards, which are the companions, and they go into separate slots. These are pretty much like the support characters. In the top row, you have all your kind of spells and whatever summons and units. Like pretty much this is the typical Clash Royale part, but on top of it, they added the companions. On top of it, they added the positioning of your character during the core gameplay. Like imagine that Clash Royale towers, like the king in the towers would be moving himself and evading abilities and positioning him and whatever something. And on top of it, the spells themselves are kind of complicated to begin with, because let's say they definitely want to adhere to the fantasy and whatever the Harry Potter thing is doing. For instance, let's just take the unicorn. So unicorn actually doesn't summon a basic unicorn that attacks your enemy. It actually summons the injured unicorn that was in the movie, and that it gradually recovers health, and only once it is full health, he does his power attack, whatever something. So best thing would be to combo him with some kind of a healing unit or whatever to get him in full force or something. So again,
why does it not work? Is it super complex or what?
it's very complex for the audience if we compare it to something like the other games, which are very, very streamlined, because Hogwarts Mystery, Hogwarts Puzzle and Spells are very, very easy and very, very casual. And also the PC game, the Hogwarts Legacy one that was released, is very, very casual. Like, this game has actually more tactics and strategy than the PC game. Like, PC game is very easy. PC games like do some riddle here, do some spell there, flipendo, Avada Kedavra, everybody's dead. That's it. Here, you actually need to strategize. You actually need to build your deck properly. You have like a league system.
Would you say that this IP is not fit for this core gameplay because it's too hard? It's too an audience as well. It's too niche. Because the audience of Harry Potter IP is more casual players?
Yes, but it is casual in the West. That's why this thing grows 70 million on launch in China. That's the important thing. It works in China. It worked out pretty well. It did 200 million. You don't want to make 200 million game? Everybody would like
Wait a second. So it's
But why?
Well, the thing is, like, it's not casual in the West. It's just like it's hardcore. But in China, it works because that's how they're used to play games. But in West,
people are
like,
hardcore normal.
Yeah. But in West, it just doesn't work because if this was a little bit more casual, then it would work better. That's my take.
I wouldn't say it needs to be like significantly more casual because it's just so big. Like just looking at the loadout of what these, it's like super, super big. You have all these things that you can go. You even have like the dance club where other like you can dance literally with other players and they can like. That's in the books, man.
Of course, it's in the books.
Where you have this kind of a mini game where you need to like time press buttons and you then have like some score and you're actually dancing with other players.
This reminds me the chat with the waifu.
Yeah. But like, to be honest, like for a person in Asia, like this is the perfect game because it fulfills your like Harry Potter IP fantasy. If like mobile is your main, like they don't have PCs that much there because they just have mobiles.
Well,
we
just
learned. So if I'm a PC gamer,
just learned that the younger audience play on iOS and a little bit of Android, but the older audience plays on PC and high-end devices on Android. So I guess
but this is more towards younger audience, definitely.
Yeah.
In China, I mean, like
it makes sense.
Harry Potter wasn't there during the craze when it was here in the West. So
yeah.
So if you look into the shop, it's exactly as you would expect. You have the basic gacha, which is the usual one, which is the shit gacha here and the good gacha there.
What's the difference between a shit gacha and a good gacha?
Shit gacha doesn't have a chance to get the
PhD.
legendary. So and then good gacha has a chance to get the legendary 2%. That's the usual difference. There's always kind of two gachas in a way. So, and do we got the legendary? No, we don't. And then, of course, we have the event gacha. And event gacha is what? Event gacha is Ron Weasley that you can get through playing the event and whatever. And then you have a chance to have guaranteed Ron Weasley card. That's it. So this is actually a little bit more of a combination of that Asian seasonal gacha where we're adding more and more characters and the Clash Royale one where everybody has everything. And, you just level up the cards because it's the shard model where my cards are pretty much leveled up as I get like more components on that. So let's say my whatever is this Incendio is level 7 and I just need one more copy of it to level it up and then it will end up with like 500 copies by level 30, whatever.
So if you compare this to the PC game Hogwarts Legacy, and I know we discussed this before, you said as soon as you have Avada Kedavra, you're just basically all good. You can just the game. You're done.
You're done.
In here, it's like super complex.
Yeah, it's very complex because I was even battling Voldemort, and Voldemort was using Avada Kedavra and it was doing just some damage. It wasn't even like insta-killing my creatures. Yeah, so the mighty Voldemort
that's disappointing.
Didn't really make it, but just imagine like when I first downloaded the game, it asked me for 3 gigs. This is the usual thing.
Yeah.
And then just look how much more stuff it needs to download in order to function properly in all the things.
So this is like a 7-8 gig game then, huh?
10.
All right.
10. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, even more.
So and just wait for the updates and every other content they will jam into it. So yeah, this is the usual kind of Asian game, which just it's super overcrowded with features, which is completely okay for Asian like Western APAC audience, but in the West it's not really.
Then how
come
Genshin Impact is doing like such a good job in West?
Because Genshin Impact, in my opinion, is a little bit more streamlined than this.
Yeah.
Is it? Ooh,
it is.
Okay.
It is.
Interesting.
It actually is. Because Genshin Impact is pretty much Zelda Breath of the Wild on mobile.
Okay. Which is okay. Interesting.
But as I said, like imagine you have Clash Royale and then you add more complexity into it. I'm not saying it's bad. Like it actually adds a lot of depth and strategy, which is great, which we'll see on the China numbers because the gacha works so well there.
Exactly.
But here in the West, when you have like 30-something people with nostalgia after like Harry Potter, because there's the lot of Harry Potter games, there's not really that big.
Oh yeah, no.
Pack of those.
I couldn't play this game. I couldn't play this game. This is exactly like this would be like like Path of Exile.
My nightmare.
Super complex, and I was like, no, I don't want to just put like fucking 50 hours just to learn how to play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my guess is, and realistic Remo rating is that they just didn't care that much about like doing anything with it when it was so successful in Asia 3 years ago already, or 2 years ago, because they already went like 200 million plus. They're probably swimming in money anyway, and they just say like, let's release it in the West, just some localization.
And see what happens.
And nothing happened.
And nothing happened because
you know what? This reminds me the Monster Strike. So they released it in the US and the West, and then they just killed it, and then just focus on East. It's just
Japanese market only.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you wanna release a game in West, it needs to be very simplified. Not simplified, but
to invest.
Tied into the like westernized market. Honestly,
but honestly, like it's kind of as I said,
we had this discussion in South Korea last week or the week before. So I started working with like few devs there, and I started producing creatives for them as well. And honestly, we just produce creatives, narrative, different gameplay, whatever else. And they said, look, honestly, this is just so westernized. We couldn't even think about this type of concepts on our own. And I was like, what do you mean? Like this is just like my bread and butter. It's
normal
like nothing.
Things in the West.
Exactly. Like it's super normal. It's like, we tried to replicate it, we couldn't. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Same thing here, I guess.
Yeah, it's like my guess is they just release it for the lols in a way that like probably somebody on the manager team hopes that it would be better, but like. Yeah, it's just very, very hardcore-ish. And like the game's overwhelming even from the beginning. Like this is not even fully unlocked main UI. I would guess that if I would progress for a week more, all of these kind of empty spaces like on the border would be filled with all the icons of like events, whatever trials, whatever something would be added here. Like it's and the game's like amazing. Like don't get me wrong, like whole thing that you have here, like what you can do even with your avatar, and like how can you like you have even poses for your character that you can select.
Can you chat with your waifus in the other game?
You cannot chat.
That is not that great.
But no. But actually, the account that you select here is the Warner Bros. Account. The one that I'm playing it on the same Warner Bros. Account that I used when I played Hogwarts Legacy.
Interesting.
The same account. So it's under the same, umbrella of Harry Potter, but yeah, definitely not for the same brand, I would say.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. So as I said, rating regarding the Asian version, 10 out of 10, definitely. Western translation, there's none. So unfortunately, it's still great, but not for this audience.
Okay.
Yeah. And since I'm lagging, Felix, could you take us home, please?
Absolutely. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Show this podcast to your dogs and cats because they absolutely love it. And if you want to catch us in person, Tuesday, the 22nd at Gamescom. Matej will put the link in our show notes. Sign up, come give us a high five. And remember, if you want to be in the podcast with us on the day we're recording on the 22nd in our event, send either of us three a message and we will randomly pick one at random and you'll be on the podcast.
Amazing job.
So,
thank you very much. Cheers.
See you guys later.
See you.